Are you sure you want me to tell you what to do? I always chuckle when I think about the phrase freedom of choice. We Americans make a big deal about it. Every election, you are bound to run into that phrase. If you are particularly unlucky, the same politicians will probably keep rattling on about the importance of freedom of choice and its variants, such as freedom of consciousness, direction, and the ability to set your destiny. It's all bullshit. I know that's a big claim, but I think I know what I'm talking about. I own a business where I order people through specialized software that feeds signal electrodes on their heads. I tell people what to do using the software. These software signals are channeled through electrodes stuck in my clients' heads. These people aren't looking for freedom of choice. If you want to be completely honest, they are not looking for freedom. What people want in this day and age is precisely the opposite of freedom. I'm sorry to say, but what people want is freedom from choice. We've gotten too lazy. Back in the day, if you wanted to eat or feed your family, you'd have to break the ground, plant some seeds, draw water, and break your back every day for about 3 months in the hopes that you'll have crops you can feed yourself and those who depend on you. No wonder people were lean and strong back then. You had to be. Having a strong back was a prerequisite in those days. The weak died young. Today, it's a completely different story. We are a nation of full bellies. For far too many of us, our big challenge involves a simple question: what will I eat today? It boggles the mind that, to this day, people are asking different questions in some parts of the planet. They wonder if they'll eat today, but not here in America. In our country, there is such a thing as people who are overweight. My point is we have everything we need at fairly affordable prices. Convenience is king. In this type of world, having choices is the enemy. When you have so many things to choose from, it's easy to be confused and lazy. You end up putting off most things you know you should be doing. I truly believe that people, deep down, are not lazy. They can and do have the energy to do what they must. But here's the problem. Our list of must-do things is far shorter than the list of things we should do. Our should-do list contains things that will take our lives to the next level. These are to lose weight, stop smoking and drinking, stop fucking around, start working on that startup idea, and start taking online courses to build up your skill set. I can go on and on. You probably have your list of should-do items. I'm willing to bet that list is quite long. I know mine is. And this is why I have a business. People come to me with an empty look in their eyes. When I look at them, I sense their desperation. It doesn't matter how many years of college they went through or how long they've been in their jobs because they feel directionless, much like a snake hitting its tail. Their stories are the same. They would tell me they've gotten into some routine that is hard to get off on. They feel that whatever they're doing today will be the same as what they did yesterday, a copy of last week's items. They are at least self-aware enough to understand where all these lead to and are scared of it. They fear that if they stick to their routines, whatever potential they have or hopes and dreams they cling to will never happen. They will never live up to their fullest potential. How can they when they keep doing the same things? So they seek me out in their desperation. I'm the miracle man with the mind-controlling powers that can get people to do what they'd rather not. None of this was painful, at least not physically. Getting up at 4 a.m. may seem like a hassle, but it feels like a chore because of your mental state. People have been waking up early to work out, walk around, or exercise for ages. It's not physical, it's a mental and emotional challenge. And this is why I have a business. My mind control service, if you will, is all about giving people suggestions that, for whatever reason, they have a tough time resisting. You probably already know that the best sleep is the sleep you enjoy right before your morning alarm clock rings. That is your best sleep because you want to hang on to every second of that sleep. You want to return to it because it envelopes you like a comforting blanket. My job is to jolt you out of that comfort zone. You are paying me to rip aside that all-comforting emotional blanket you find yourself crawling into so you can absolve yourself from having to do what you know you should be doing. I admit that I thought it was weird when I started this business. I prize my freedom, and it continues to strike me as weird that people would pay me to take over their lives by sending these electronic suggestions straight to their brains. I wouldn't want it done to me, but then again, it took me a while to develop the discipline to wake up early, stand up and confront people I'd rather not go toe-to-toe with, or put on a smile and brave the day. I'd rather spend the whole day playing World of Warcraft, leveling up my feral druid. But I don't do that. It's a hassle, but I must get up to do what I must do. I have to live life. That's how I gained peace with what I do for a living. I justified it all with the notion that I'm truly helping people live their lives. One of my current clients had a tough time controlling what she eats. She'd rather eat mashed potatoes and chicken wings every day. Her figure reflected that daily choice. When she asked me to control her mind and tell her what to do, I couldn't help but feel taken aback. I felt responsible for this person to lose weight. I was second-guessing myself. I thought she didn't read the form correctly or fully understand the extent of her consent. So I read the form back to her and asked her if she understood what she was signing up for. It was not only a diet issue. She was allowing me to tell her what to do with her life. She was allowing me total control. I suppose my marketing materials position my service as an antidote to laziness. That's how I get warm bodies through my business's doors. But anyone with more than one brain cell understands this goes beyond laziness. Instead, it speaks to an unpleasant truth that my business has taught me about human nature. Again, we make a big deal out of the fact that we are autonomous, free individuals. On paper, we can chart our destinies and firmly control what we choose to do. You only need to look at how people live their lives and know that it's a giant comforting lie we tell ourselves. In reality, we want others to tell us what to do. From what I've seen in my business, we beg other people to tell us what to do because we either do not trust ourselves, or the path we have taken has led us to heartbreaks and disappointments, and we've reached a point where we need a drastic alternative. So here I am. I don't see myself any different from a dominatrix that many rich men pay to slap them around, gag, or put blindfolds on them, or otherwise humiliate them. Something about my ability to control minds gives me a tremendous sense of unease. I only need to ask myself a simple question to understand where this uneasiness comes from. I only need to ask, what if somebody did that to me, and I can't come up with any convincing answer. Still, when I look into the eyes of my clients, who are otherwise good people with a lot to offer the world caught in the paralyzing depths of learned helplessness they call laziness, I cannot help but feel that I must help them with what I have. Part of my service is reading the terms and conditions to my clients even after they've gone through orientation. For every session of the service, I read the terms and conditions. I'm not doing it for them since they already know the rules. The fact they keep coming back and paying me means they understand what they're doing. I'm reading the terms and conditions to them because a part of me is uneasy or even shocked at the service. But my client, Marcy, with her obsessive eating, has given me hope. I only need to look at her journey to feel inspired by the resiliency of the human spirit. Marcy was around 350 pounds when she barely waddled through my office doors, nearly breaking the chair in the reception. She almost cried when she told me what she needed to be done. She said she had tried gastric bypass, all sorts of hypnosis, treatments, prepackaged low-calorie foods, intermittent fasting, keto diet, Atkins diet, and on and on. The list of failed experiments went. As I went through her experiences, I saw her tears form much like water rising behind against a dam's outer walls. I don't know what to do, she keeps repeating. Every time she said that, her voice sank. Looking at her straight in the eyes, I told her, I've read you the terms and conditions. You understand fully what you will go through. You will be under my total control. You will not have any free will. Do you understand and accept that? She could barely look me in the eye, but I sensed a tinge of resolve in her voice when she said she understood. She signed the form again, and it was showtime after my virtual assistant processed the payment for a monthly subscription. I use software that I've calibrated to channel my mental signals. I've consulted many doctors, but they can't figure out how I can send signals from my mind into the minds of other people. I developed this tracking software to track the signals, to cross-reference them with appointments and correlate them with actual client outcomes. Keep in mind that it's not the software controlling the brain wave patterns and the subject's impulse resistance control and mechanisms. Everything comes from my mind. I suppose the software and the electrodes plugged into my clients' temples give the mind control process a performative or demonstrative quality. I'd be lying to you if I told you that I prefer just holding the temples of my clients and speaking straight to their faces with my eyes locked with their eyes. But I want the process to be as non-freaky as possible. I'm not doing this to get a kick out of it or for my ego. I don't know the answers to life's big questions, and I'm sure I don't want somebody who thinks he knows to dictate to me what I should do with my life. That is why I'm uneasy with this whole mind control thing. But stories like Marcy's and what happened to her keep coming back. It is people like Marcy who are desperate for solutions and tried everything else but failed that keep me from quitting what I do. After her first session, Marcy would return to my office in 2 weeks. I wasn't expecting much because many weight control clients would post modest weight loss. Judging from the results of my male clients, it's not unusual for somebody weighing 400 to 500 pounds to lose maybe 10 to 20 pounds by the time they are due for their next appointment. Marcy's case blew my mind. When she came in, she was already walking straight, not waddling anymore. There was something new about her. She was confident and felt there was a direction in every step she took. She looked me straight and said, "Mr. Dela Cruz, I lost 50 pounds. Many people would cheer for that result. I know that weight loss clinics, fat farms, and other specialty clinics would be ecstatic. After all, they see their walking and talking billboards of their weight reduction miracles." I had a totally different reaction. I was scared for her. When she first showed up at my office, she easily tipped the scale at 350. Now she's saying she lost 50 pounds. That's 1/7 of her weight. That's 14% of total body mass lost in 2 weeks. But she set me at ease. She told me she's been drinking a lot of water, taking her supplements, and checking her blood pressure, and everything's okay. She said, "I'm so happy you have helped me lose this weight." After she sat down, I told her, "I just taught you the power of the word no. Just because a thought or an impulse enters your mind does not mean you always have to say yes." She nodded in agreement. I can sense her resolve. I've woken up something in her. It made me feel good, but I also understood that her main enemy is consistency. "Do you know what makes the word no so powerful?" I asked her. She looked at me, puzzled, and said, "Please tell me." "It's when you follow it up with another no, and that's what we'll work on in this session." I told her I only wanted her to drink water for the next 2 weeks, take her supplements, and say no to the rest. No sweet drinks, no staying late, and no solid or liquid foods. Only say yes to water and doing things the hard way. It's this last part that took her aback. Everything else I've said up to that point I've said before differently. By now, she knows all of it, and looking at her success at shedding pounds, it worked. "What do you mean?" The inevitable question came. I told her I needed her to be consistent and focused on why she was doing it. She needed to think hard about why she was permitting me to control her mind. I told her, "You are not lazy. You are scared. You are eating to make yourself feel comfortable. Food has been your refuge, and I want you to step away from its shadow. Focus your comfort on water." Her eyes opened wide, signaling her mind opening to the explanation I was about to give. Water cleans away even the most stubborn debris. I'm no psychologist, but I can tell by your eyes and forced smile that you've been using food to get the kind of feelings you can't get from other people. Tears started welling in her eyes. I added, "I want you to view that reality, not something that makes you feel small, wounded, or worse, defective. It is the past. Say yes to the path you're on. Food is not your enemy," I told her. "It is a tool you can control." Our session ended sooner than Marcy would have liked it, but I had to pick up my kid on his way to his piano teacher. He's got a recital in a few months. I can tell from Marcy's eyes that something has changed. Maybe snapped is too strong a word, but something has definitely changed. "I'll see you in 2 weeks, I said. 2 weeks passed, and I could not place Marcy compared to what she looked like when she first showed up in my office. Her distinct mix of Mediterranean and Eastern European hair looked quite different. She was a little bit tanned and standing so proud and confident. I can't quite put my finger on it, but she gave me the impression of somebody who just got released from prison or detention. I couldn't help but smile. Marcy's green eyes lit up the room, and she broke into a soft, infectious smile punctuated by her ruby lips freshly painted with lipstick. "Mr. Dela Cruz, I am feeling like $1 million, she said. I joked that she might want to take it back because, with today's inflation, $1 million means nothing. She chuckled and said she had lost 75 pounds. I could have sworn that she lost more because she looked toned. I asked if she's been doing something else, and she said she's been doing things the hard way. I felt a smile creep across my face because one of my weight loss clients finally got it. You see, weight loss is a straightforward equation. Calories in, calories out. If you want to lose weight, The number of calories you burn every day must be more than the calories you take. Again, basic math. While there are variations in calorie types and the forms of daily calorie intake, a pureed banana has a different effect on your appetite than a banana you peeled and ate whole. Weight loss ultimately boils down to numbers. When you burn more calories than you take in, your body looks for those missing calories. This is where your fat stores come in. Your body wages war against those fat stores, and you become thinner. I could tell from how Marcy looked that she's been working on her metabolic calorie burn rate. While she could have just chosen to let her resting metabolism burn off calories since she's not eating anything, the weight loss would have taken longer. She said she felt awesome. I told her I was impressed. She told me she wanted me to double down. Double down? I asked, my brows caught in a knot. Yes, I want you to command me to lose 100 more pounds, she said. I told her that I didn't think I could do that. I confessed that I hadn't done the numbers and explored the different alternatives that could lead to a healthy outcome, but something was alarming about how much she wanted to lose. Trust me, Mr. Dela Cruz. It'll be okay. I'm allowing myself to lose weight and live a new life. I paused for a while, but her last sentence got to me. This was a young woman that finally got it. Losing weight is not all about shedding pounds or looking good for others, because while that is awesome, it is short-lived. People who've gone on one diet after another do so because those programs worked at some point, but eventually, they go back to their old weight, and sadly for some people, they end up heavier than when they first started their diets. Marcy is different because she understands that it's not the diet that makes you lose weight and keep the pounds off. It's your lifestyle. I followed up with a question. Does this mean you will not engage in comfort eating? Does this mean you will separate the emotional payload you get when you eat and feel full? I've thought about that and concluded that I will no longer see food as giant Prozac pills in multiple flavors, she joked. I chuckled and felt a sense of relief. Okay, let's do it your way, I said. Today you won't recognize Marcy from when I first met her. I'm not only talking about her physical appearance. I'm also talking about the total package. This is a woman on top of the world. She is pushing the boundaries of her comfort zone and refusing to take no for an answer. This is a woman who has lost her faith in mediocrity. I am telling you Marcy's story because many people are confused about what I do. But I will tell you that even if you have somebody who tells you what to do with your life, you are the one who must put meaning in your life. I cannot do that for you. When Marcy chose the path of lifestyle change and how this fits with her personal story of who she is and what she can accomplish, the world opened up for her. Instead of feeling uneasy about what I do, I see it as a badge of honor. Maybe the solution to the freedom of choice and the confusion it brings is to give up all choices and focus only on one thing. And by that purity of focus, everything else falls into place. Well, at least, that is the hope.